All right. All right. Chosen ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back, as usual, to another episode on Antonicus Motivates. And y'all already know about how we do, as usual, about this time. About to go ahead and get into another video today. Today is Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. And chosen one, I'm glad to be back with you again today. I hope all of y'all are doing well today, man. I hope y'all are feeling well and everything like that. And I hope your mental health is well, because you already know how it is out here in this matrix that they got us all in. With all this chaos and confusion going on that we don't have no control over. And that we are basically in the midst of with nothing more than our faith and the Word of God and all of that. But we got to have these discussions every day on the daily, man, because you see, all the hell they put us through, that we survived, none of it worked. And we really shouldn't be here, but we are. We're still standing. After everything they did to reject us, and ignore us pretty much, the truth still remains, even though they did that. The truth still is there, regardless, even though they did that. Everything they did to us to sabotage us didn't work. We made it through every one of those, and so they basically, every one of those attacks they did to us to sabotage us, we made it through every one of those attacks. And so they pretty much sabotaged themselves in the process. Now they've wore themselves all out. And I guess that's what the topic is going to be on today. I mean, what I was going to talk to you on today is, see, what it is basically they've just wore themselves all out in this whole process of trying to destroy you and bring you down. Because nothing they did worked. None of it worked. It was all a waste of their time and their energy. Time that they will never get back. And it's time that, that they could have used on themselves or on doing what they was called to do. But they didn't answer the call. They chose to remain in the nonsense. And they chose to believe the lies. So we're going to talk more about that today, man, on this video as I move out. And about to go ahead and get into day number 43 today of the burpees training. And chosen one, you already know what I done told you before. Man, you can't be burning yourself out. You just got to know what you got to do, what you can do, and don't worry about nothing else. And just stay committed to the excellence that you're committed to. Just stay committed to that. Listen to your body, man. Your body tells you to chill. You don't always have to, constantly be like the Energizer Bunny all the time. Which I know we have that big energy, so we do, what I'm saying, we do have more energy than the average person. As long as we stay away from the energy vampires, right? Because they drain our energy. So we just got to do what we got to do, man, to maintain our energy every day. And part of that is taking care of ourselves, resting, eating right, and then continuing to exercise our bodies and all of that. We just got to keep doing that. But back to what I was talking about, though, about how all your enemies and your haters, they basically just done wore themselves all out, man. That's all they did. They wore themselves out trying to destroy you. Everything was pointless because it all failed. You know, and so all these different strategies they used, and the strategies to block you financially, that failed as well. And every different thing that they used against you, you know, to try to smear you with the smear campaigns and everything, that all failed. And everything they did to try to get you to come out of character and to take the bait that they had sent to you with their pettiness to get you to try to get you to catch a charge or something like that, or to crash out or something like that, that all failed. So they're pretty much worn out right now, you know what I mean, with everything they've done, because they've done used everything in the book. They've done through pretty much the whole spell book at you and the magical wand. And none of it worked. None of it worked. So it was all pointless, and it was just ridiculous, man. You know, it really was, man. And you know that they must pay now. And part of the way of them paying is seeing your face and seeing you still here and seeing you rising now and seeing you growing and still becoming everything you were meant to be after everything they did to try to derail you and stop you. That's part of their payment. And it's driving them insane right about now. You know it is. You know they can't handle it. Many of them can't handle it, man. So, I mean, it's like, it really is just totally, you know, crazy what you have survived. It really is. It's just amazing. Like I said before, it really is. But they've worn themselves out and wasted a lot of their time that they could have spent on themselves. They were so worrying about what you were doing and worrying about what you had going on that they forgot to worry about themselves. And so now all that time that they spent is lost. And they delayed you, and they caused you to waste a lot of time trying to show them the truth And even their attacks on you for that failed as well. And so you know that was the last ditch effort. After everything they tried to do to get to you up here didn't work, then the last ditch effort was to literally take it there, to try to unalive you. I mean, that's in my case. I don't know about y'all, but in my case, that really did happen. So you know now that if you stand for the truth out here in a world full of lies, they will try to erase you for that. No doubt about it. So I mean, it's like, they should have never did what they did to you. They should have never done it. Because now they're going to be the ones paying the price for it. They're the ones who's going to suffer for it. And you know that when it all failed, everything they tried, the consequences of that is that now, not only are you still standing in your truth, but the whole illusion out here is breaking as well, and their system is collapsing. So what do they have to do now? This is the authorities I'm talking about now. Not just all your enemies and your haters, but you know they was working with them. Because you know they're informants, you know they're NPCs, you know they're information agents. And you know now they was all against you. But their system is collapsing. So what do they have to do? You know, they have to try to continue to manufacture these crises. Now they have to continue to make up new viruses and all of that, and more planned demics and everything like that, you know. And this is just becoming more and more obvious to everyone, man. It's like the more they keep trying to do, man, the more obvious all of this becomes of what it is and what it always has been. It's just the lies have came to a climax. And they can no longer lie to us anymore. And I've said this before. But this is not going to stop, because you know who drives these people, and you know what drives them. It's evil and the devil himself. And you know that you know that this is what they have to do. They have to create order out of chaos. But you've always known this. And this is the most frustrating part about being chosen, see? When you tried to show people that, they didn't listen to you. When you tried to tell them about everything that you knew was going to happen, they took it with a grain of salt or whatever, or took it for a joke. They didn't listen to us, see? But like I said before, you know, now they're finding out. Now they're finding out that they should have never messed with you for one thing. And for another thing was they should have listened to you. But you know, too late is their cry. That's the way this is, man. That's where this has came to. And they wore themselves all out in the process. You know, doing everything. They've been wearing themselves out, wearing themselves down, and sabotaging themselves. Because we already know how this is all going to end. We're going to win. and we're going to take back everything they stole from us. And we know why. We know the word tells us that they've been storing up everything, all their wealth and their riches, just to hand it back over to us. And that the righteous and the meek will inherit the earth. And so that's what's going to happen. We know the word tells us that. And so, it's like, we know that we don't have nothing to worry about. We don't have nothing to fear. We know we don't. And we don't live in fear. Psalm 27, Psalm 91, Isaiah 41:10. This is what they've been trying to get us to live in our whole entire lives. And this is the reason why they've made everything so difficult for us, to try to stop us from being able to function out here in society and from being able to have a normal life. But we could never have a normal life because we're not normal. We're not like the rest of them. I done told you, chosen one. We can't fit into this program. We never will. And so they've been wearing themselves out the whole entire time, trying to mess you up. It was all an absolute waste of their time, their energy, and it caused them to give up on themselves. It caused them to forget about themselves. And now it caused them, that now they're going to have to pay the price, and that everything they sent to you now has to come back to them 100-fold. And many of them are not going to make it. Like I said before, they're not going to make it. They're not going to survive it. But anyway, I'm back here at my location today, chosen one. And so I'm about to go ahead on and get into this day number 43 on the burpees training session, like I normally always do. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and get my backpack on. Then we're going to walk it out. I'm going to talk to you some more. And I'm going to continue to further break this topic down for you, like I always do, about how, it was all just a waste of their time. And they've wore themselves out in the process. That's all they did. Trying to destroy you. Because you're still here. Not only are you still here, but you're still doing your assignment. All right? So hold that thought right there and stay tuned. Yeah, all right, chosen one. So as you can see, I'm back now. And back to the topic what we was talking about, and everything about how your enemies pretty much wore themselves out, trying to take you down, trying to destroy you. And they wasted all their time. Like I said before, none of nothing they did worked. So, it all failed and backfired. All the humiliation, that didn't work. The exploitation of your vulnerabilities and your weaknesses, that didn't work. The betrayal, the backstabbing you, that didn't work. So, basically nothing really worked. So now they all look dumb. And then you're still winning anyway. So, so they should have never did it. They should have never came up against you the way they did. So now, because of all of this, and because of the way they did you, now they will definitely undoubtedly receive back all the karma for everything that they did to you, because it's like it always has been said before, that whatever you send out comes back to you. And that really is true. It's a law, just like the law of gravity. If you drop something, it's gonna fall. Same way. So now it's time for the enemies all to fall, because they basically wore themselves out and tired themselves all out now. They know that nothing's working against you anymore. So this is the reason why they've done, let off a lot on the attacks and everything. Although that the attacks will still happen again, and that they are waiting for you to slip up. That they're just waiting for that to happen. That's exactly what they want, so they can say something else about you. But you're not giving them nothing else now. And you remember who you were, so you know who you are now. So that right there by itself, that's what's gonna, really take you to the next level now, because now that it was not nothing that you did or anything like that. Now that it was always all of them. And they was trying to get up in your mind. They was trying to get up in your head and make you think less of yourself, make you doubt yourself. So now there's really pretty much nothing left they can do, because the last ditch effort, like I said before, was when they attacked you. And then that failed, because your guardian angels had you during that time. And I've done told y'all my story. And as a matter of fact, the bullet that my mom had swept up off the floor, or the projectile, I guess you would call it, it looked like an AR round anyway, that she had swept up off the floor. The next day, when we called them back and had them come and pick it up for the evidence, I think I done told y'all before in my videos, it looked like a sword had hit the bullet, because it was cut, it was sliced straight in half almost, and you could see the armor piercing metal inside of the head, because it was probably like one of the armor piercing bullets, like they used to pierce like bulletproof vests and stuff like that. They have projectiles that are like armor piercing bullets. So it was like one of those type of bullets. And it had a slash mark through it. No joke. Just like a sword had hit it. And I wish I would have taken a picture of that now. But everything happened so fast, and then she picked it up and swept it out the floor, and then we called, and they came and picked it up as evidence. And I know they hid that too. I know they hid the evidence. I know they know. The authorities know. When they saw that, that probably terrified them too as well. When they saw that, they knew then that it was they probably knew just as well as I know that it was the angel sword that deflected the projectile that night. So like I said, they haven't gotten away with nothing, even though they hid it and covered it up. Everything that happened, God knows. He saw everything, and he knows the reason why they attacked you. It was because you wouldn't conform, and because all of these tactics that I've went over with you before failed. And so basically, they wore themselves out trying to bring you down. This is the reason why a lot of everything has done. Also because it's being known now, because your results are speaking for themselves, that everything that was said about you was not true. So the smear campaign didn't work. And so, you know, this is the reason why they've changed their tune now and switched up on you. Why they're smiling, many of them now, in your face, holding doors for you or acting nice to you. It's because they know that they got duped, but they also know that they done sided with the wicked and evil ones. You know, they sided with them to take their side against you. And that's part of the reason why, you know, why they're staying silent, and why, I mean, it's like you done put two and two together, you know, and your intuition has helped you to do this, because the spirit is always guiding you, your internal guidance system, you know. And so you don't necessarily have to see and know. It's your internal guidance system that's telling you. Your intuition is telling you. Plus, you know, just like anybody else with any common sense. And that's another thing about us chosen ones, see, that's different from our enemies. We actually have what you would call common sense. This is what most people who are sleepwalking in the matrix do not have out here. So you are not like them. You have common sense. You know how to take the pieces of the puzzle and everything and put them all together to figure out things on your own, regardless of what you've seen or not yet. But like I said, they haven't gotten away with it, and I'm gonna tell my story to the whole entire world. And so this is my story, and I'm telling it every day on my channel, you know, about the drive-by on our house. And that was on September 25th, 2024. That was the last ditch effort where they finally wore themselves completely out. Plus they found out, you know, they messed around and found out that night, because they found out that that they wasn't able to hit us, to hit the target, because of the protection we had over us. Like I said, this was our guardian angels and everything watching over us that night. And like I said, I had my Bible app playing on my phone when it happened, and I was getting my clothes off the top of the dryer that I had in my basket that I had taken off the top of my dryer. And this was after I came back from work. So, you know, that was the last effort of theirs. Although I would not be surprised at anything still anymore, because they know that we know who they are. Chosen one, you already know. And they know that we exposed them. They know that we expose them daily out here, because our third eye is open. They know that. They know that we see through the agenda. They know we've been trying to warn people for the longest. That's the reason why they tried to silence our voice and tried to paint us black. That's why they did all these things to us, to try to destroy us, to take us out, because they didn't want us to awaken to others to the truth. But it's like, we done went over the reason in 2 Corinthians 4:4 of why all of them was always blind. Plus, familiarity breeds contempt. And you know a prophet is not welcome in his own town. Mark 6:4. So we know the word. You know, also we know in Matthew chapter 13, the reason why they was blind and why they couldn't see. And why you always had eyes to see and the ears to hear. But now everything that you told them was going to happen is happening. You know, you warned them. It's happening. We can see it clearly happening. And we know that what they're using all this technology for is towards, you know, the mark in Revelation 13. And we know that they're trying to mix government with religion already. And a guy in Truth and Bible Prophecy on his channel, on his YouTube channel, just recently did a video talking about that and talking about how Trump is already interfering with or starting to want to support the Jewish Sabbath days and everything like that. And the guy in Truth and Bible Prophecy was making a video on it and on the Pope, talking about 2 Sabbath days now, after we already know that they done the Pope, the Catholic Church done changed the Sabbath day from Sunday to Saturday. See, these are the other things that the chosen ones know. We know the real Sabbath day, but we also know all about the way everything was created on purpose to deceive the masses away from the truth. This is what we've been trying to show people for so long with all these religions and everything. This is what many of us learned when we was awakened. And I've went over all of that with you. So they know we know all of this information. Like I said before, they know we know all this hidden knowledge. The powers that be, Ephesians 6:12. They don't want us getting the information out. So I would not be surprised at anything. Every day that I'm still here though, I just give God all the glory, all the praise. Every day that I'm still here, man, that I can still talk and tell y'all my story, man. Because I pray every day for justice, because all this stuff has really affected me mentally. And I know that the whole thing was designed by design to try to make us lose our minds, or to try to make us go mentally insane. But this is the reason why their system is collapsing now, and why most of them are panicking. And probably even the worst demons who was sent to you, who they sent to you through their rituals and their black magic, are really even impressed with you, because you did not do exactly what they wanted you to do with their manipulation tactic to try to get you to snap. You held your ground, you stayed in your character and everything like that. So you've already passed all the tests and won if you made it this far. And you're still gonna win. You're unstoppable. They can never stop you. This is just the beginning now. If you would have known everything you knew was going on before, man, you would have probably been, you would have probably already been on such a high level right now. They could have never touched you, but you had to go through everything that you had to go through. You've always been on a high level, but it's just like that you kind of got, into your, they was using everything they had against you, throwing everything they had against you, trying to wear you out and causing you not to fully understand what was going on. But now that you fully understand what was going on and all the games that was going on that they was playing with you, now it's just the beginning, because your identity, and that it was all to try to throw you off your assignment and try to derail you from what you came to do. So now you're unstoppable, and now they haven't seen nothing yet. They haven't seen nothing yet. The pressure could not make you break or fold or bend or fold. You would not fold up. They wanted you to fold like a lawn chair. That's what they wanted you to do, or like a notebook pad, or like a folder. They wanted you to fold like a folder, but you wouldn't. So you have a strength like none other. You are that diamond royal. And they're all wore out now, because you endured so much. You have taken so much that the average person could not take. It would not stand up under. And you're still standing up under what the average person could not survive. Many of you are. So, you know, props to you if you're still going through your thing, man. But we already know that, you know, we know that most of this stuff out here is meaningless out here anyway, that they tried to strip us from and take everything from us. But we also know that they are going to pay the price for that, for what they did to us, because it was pure evil. It was pure evil and totally diabolical. Your family members was probably even involved in it, you know, especially if you know that you came, if you was like the black sheep like myself, and you know that you came from a religion that you found out later on was a cult, and that was, you know, involved with like occultic type stuff like Freemasonry and stuff. Like I done told y'all my story about the Mormons and all of that, the family that I came from. And so it's well known and known that, you know, the leader or the founder of their church, Joseph Smith, was a 33rd degree Freemason. And so I know that I would not be surprised if even they was doing witchcraft on me. But we know these stories like went down in the Bible with the other chosen ones, like with Joseph, and how his brothers, his own family tried to unalive him, and then they threw him into the pit, and then they sold him into slavery and all of that. So, you know, this is what they did. But we know how that story ended as well, because Joseph had the same resilience, you know. And so we have this resilience about us like Joseph, and also like Daniel in the lion's den, or like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who went through the fiery furnace. And we're still here. We're still sharing our story every day and letting the other ones know, the other chosen ones know, who is going through their same thing, so they can know not to give up. And we won't give up. We'll never give up. We can't give up, because we know we're going to take back everything the enemy stole from us. And we know that all these wicked, evil people are going down. And it's happening right now, right in front of all of our faces. And they're panicking because they know they couldn't do it, and they wore themselves out in the process. And so all these witches and warlocks who came up against you, they're going down now. They're going down now. And we're going up. We're going up, and it's our season. They can never stop us ever again. Never again. Never again. Like I said, we're unstoppable. So till the next one, man, I'm going to catch y'all all on the next one. I hope y'all are all having a blessed day today. You know, as always, peace, love, light, blessings to you all, chosen ones, and all of y'all out there. You know, thanks for everyone who keeps continuing to give me support and encouragement during these difficult times. I appreciate each and every one of you and all of your motivation. And, you know, we're just going to continue to motivate each other over here on Antonicus Motivates, all right? Lots more to come. Plenty more content to come, hopefully soon. So till the next one, I'm going to catch y'all all on the next one, all right? Peace. I'm out.